Hello, glad you could join me on this beautiful day. I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you're at. What I have is a 16 by 20 canvas. What we're going to do today is do a scene that I've done before, but this one is going to be a summer scene instead of a winter one. I've done a winter one before. I already pre-coated this with a thin coat of liquid white. And once you do that, we're ready to get started painting the sky. I'm going to take a 2-inch brush and we're going to load up some phthalo blue, a little bit of Prussian blue, and we're going to start out using crisscross strokes in the corner of the canvases here. Add a little bit more color. There you go. Just put it here and there and there and here. Maybe down here we'll bring some water on the sides. Try to keep your line straight. Might have a pond down here. You kind of want to leave that opening down there because that's going to give you that look of the water with the light hitting it, the reflection. A little bit more paint. And whatever we don't use for water, we'll just fill it in with land or whatever. It really don't matter much. Once you get something like this going here, I'm going to take a blender brush. Make sure it's fairly clean. We're just going to start blending this in the sky. Just get different depths, different darknesses in the sky that you'll see. If you look up at the sky, there's all kinds of things happening. You got to leave some white in there, because maybe we'll put some clouds in. Some of the different colors that are used for the sky, you can see it on here. They're darker, they're lighter. It doesn't really much matter how you do it, which way you go. But with the wet on wet, you'll see as you get lower towards the horizon, it gets lighter. And that's just like in nature. Just barely. Whatever you think. It's your world. Wherever you think it should be, that's exactly where it should be. Pull some of this in. Don't forget, you don't want to miss your lines up here. Miss that center section coming down right through there. Don't want to cover that up. Okay, after you got that far, I'm going to clean my brush. I'm using odorless paint thinner. I'm going to beat the excess off. Now we're going to take a fan brush and load it up both sides with, I like using liquid white and titanium white. Load it up both sides really good, because we're going to put some clouds in here. Big powerful clouds. Both sides. And your clouds can be wherever you'd like. I think I'm going to put some of mine right here. You can use circular motions, tapping, add a little bit more color. You can put it in as thick as you want. Make the clouds as big as you want. Once you do that, you're going to take a clean 2-inch brush. We're going to leave the top edge alone because that's where you'll see the clouds are mostly the sharpest up there. Just kind of blend the bottom part in. Just barely lift up now. Go back to your fan brush. Load it up with some more liquid white, titanium white. I'm going to come back here and just dab this edge more to get more of a sharpness of the clouds. And you can put in as many layers as you want in, because the sky, it's like that. What I'm doing now is I'm putting a layer back so you got some depth. Maybe this cloud comes right down here. Going to take that 2-inch brush again and blend the bottom of the cloud. Kind of goes into nowhere. Clean my brush off again. Maybe in our world, I'm going to add a little bit of a mountain color. It's going to be like a deep purple. I'm going to put a little bit of a hue, a purple look to the sky. And the purple will end up looking like gray in the sky. If you ever look at the sky, sometimes the clouds look gray, but if you look at them, sometimes they got the purple look to it too. See how that one is? So you could just tap this and get all those different looks. Maybe a little bit more darker purple. Could be a storm coming in. Distant, just barely tap. And that looks like some distant clouds way off in the distance. Maybe this cloud is getting stormy. A little bit more white to tone it down a little bit. Now you got the different things going on here. Different textures. I'm just tapping. This one's going to be a big cloud. We'll put some right here. Wherever you think. Here, there, and here. Clean off that 2-inch brush that we do our blending the clouds with. We'll just barely touch it. Barely tap it. You don't want to do much with the clouds, just kind of blend it in. Get that cloud look all the way up, wherever you think. A little bit down here, kind of mist that in, barely. See, you got the different layers and different textures. Now what we're going to do, take your palette knife. I mixed up a color of the blues of the sky and some alizarin crimson. And you get a little roll of paint on the edge of your palette knife. Right there. Hope you can see it. And we're going to use it to decide how and where we want our mountains. You always want to off-center it to the canvas or to the picture. Kind of gives it more character. Maybe our mountain is going to be right here. Start out with the peak. All we're worried about is this top edge here. We really don't much care what's going on down here yet. You can put as many peaks deep. This could be a tall mountain. That's all up to you. It's your world. You could make a peaky mountain, more laid back. Like my next one is going to be down here. So this mountain's going to drop. Pretty steep. That's the fun thing about painting wet on wet, is as you're doing things, it's your world. It's almost like you can create a picture just in your own mind on how high, how deep, how steep you want the mountains to be. Maybe this one comes over here. More paint. As you can see, this one is, the way it looks, it's almost in the clouds. And the angle and the depth you get, it looks like the clouds are right even with the mountain. Okay, now we're going to take the 2-inch brush that we use for the clouds, and that's alright because we're going to take some of this color and blend it out. And we'll make the mountain as high as we want, as long as we want, and just bring out and pull all the excess paint. Then what we're going to do is blend it at the end, at the bottom of the mountain. See those angles I'm getting? And you can put them wherever you want. This is just where I'm thinking that I see it. And this mountain can go down there. What you want to do is blend it in, because it's going to get lighter, like the horizon with the colors that we have on here. See how it's dark at the top and it gets lighter towards the bottom of the mountain? And that's kind of what you're looking for, because in nature, that's the way it looks. Because of the height of the mountain and the further away things get, the kind of mistier it gets. Okay, if you're okay with that, you can go on and start with the highlights of the snow. But for me, I'm going to put another peak right in here. And what you're doing is taking your palette knife and just put it on an angle like this and just barely tapping. Just touch it and it takes it right off. Okay, I'm going to clean the brush off again. And what I just put on there, I'm just going to pull off just a little bit, because the way it looks on here, from where I see it, is it already broke real nice, and it's got all that, looks like rocks, big boulders and everything. Okay, after we do that, take your palette knife, and you're going to take some white, titanium white. You're going to cut a little roll of paint like we did the mountains. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight the mountains. We're going to highlight it where, let's say our light is coming from the right here. So we're going to start out here and just tap it. Tap it and just let it roll off. You'll see the breaks in there. Another little roll of paint. Maybe light's hitting right here. Maybe right up here. You can have it come out away from the sides by just tapping wherever you think that the edges should be, the snow. Then as you come down, you just let it lay on there and break. A little bit more paint here. You can work on the mountains however you'd like. Put more here to have it get different angles. Maybe on this side. Over here you can have some where maybe the sun's hitting in this corner right here. Kind of run it like that. Here and there and there and here. See how the angle comes down? And if you don't like that up there, you can always come back and if you want more snow, you can just come back and tap some in. Make it as thick as you want it. Kind of tap it. Now we're going to take the same color, the white, and we're going to add a little bit of blue. Because what we want to do is get a shade color. We're going to mix phthalo blue and titanium white. Get a little roll of paint up on your palette. You're going to come in and see where do you want the shadows to be. Maybe our shadows are right here. Doing the same thing, just barely tapping. Pulling it down. Figuring out where you want the shadows to be. That's okay if some of that's dark like that, because that gave it like a little hill there, a little mountain in front. Okay, and after you got that done, come in with the 2-inch brush, and I like to tap the bottom. What we're doing now is we're making it misty down here. Kind of blending it in and taking some of the edge off of it. I hope you can really notice that as much as I can. And you will once you start painting. You'll start seeing we can have that go right up where you won't know where the horizon is and where the land begins and where it stops. Okay. That looks like the misty look you want. We're going to go right into the darker color. We're going to mix green colors, phthalo green, sap green, and we're going to put some land in. And maybe the mountain color, because you want it to be a little bit darker. Because you'll see as we do it, it'll highlight and bring out a nice color, a nice kind of a green, grassy color. As I said, we're going to do like a summer scene. Just cleaning off take the 2-inch brush, don't even really have to clean it. And you're going to decide and look at the picture and say, where do I want my land to start? Because in our scene, we're going to have some land here. We're going to have some evergreen trees. Maybe one coming over here, kind of covering it up. And they're going to have some land coming down here. So in our painting, we want to leave some depth, like where it's misted here. You want to leave misty looks back, because it gives it that 3D look. So we're not going to come up too close to the mountain. We're going to be back here. Just going to tap. Tap a line. Just getting the basic outline of it. See how it's got that edge on there, like our mountain? That's kind of what you're looking for. The more you tap, the more it takes off. Got the distant look of the green. Man, a little bit more paint. Make it a little darker. And see how the lay of the land. And it's up to you. You can put hills in there or whatever you want. It's almost like you have, like you're creating nature. Because you can make things happen wherever. So, I'm going to add a little bit more paint. Make it a little darker over here. Just like that. Now we're going to take the fan brush that we used for the clouds. We're going to load up some green color, some purple, load it up with some green. Because what we're going to do is we're going to make some evergreen trees. What you're going to do is just tap down. Tap. Then we're going to start at with the corner of the brush and just go across, back and forth. That's where you get your branches or your things of the evergreen tree. So we're just going to tap down. Maybe one here, maybe a taller one here. Add a little bit of liquid clear, because this is kind of thick here, and a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. Maybe one there, wherever you think. Smaller one here. One here. What I'm doing is just almost making like the trunk of the tree. Maybe a taller one here. Hope you can see that. I'm sure you can. Now we're loading it up again because we're going to come back and we're going to start making the branches on the sides. Start out at the top with the edge, just tap. Just go back and forth. The closer you get to the ground, the harder you want to tap. Because that takes off more of it. And it kind of fills it in down here at the bottom. Taking the corner of the brush, wherever you think the branches should be. It's not going to be a whole lot of detail to this because the trees are so far away. You'll see some of the closer ones I do, what it looks like. And you just keep going along till you fill it all in where you want your branches and your trees to be. Loading up some more paint. Your trees can be all kinds of different. Be bigger at the bottom, smaller. That's the way it is in nature. You'll see that when you start looking at things, everything is different, and nothing in nature is like straight. It says straight lines. So you don't ever have to worry about having to paint a straight line. Maybe this one here in front is a little bit bigger, and you're going to see maybe a little bit more, and there's going to be depth. So I left spaces in between the branches because that's the way it looks. Once you get that down, you're kind of happy with that. That kind of looks like it goes way off in the distance. What I think I'm going to do is use that same palette, same fan brush, take some paint off, and maybe here in the distance, I'm going to tap down. Make the illusion of another set of trees back here. All you do is tap. Hope you can see this. And it's almost like what you're trying to do. It's like you're a magician. You're trying to create illusions Okay, now what we're going to do is take that 2-inch brush that we used for everything else, come back in here and tap this. I'm going to go to the blender brush. It's a little cleaner. You got to tap that, blend that in, kind of mist it. Just like that. Barely tapping it. You'll see some of the paintings, as you're doing them, you barely have to touch the canvas, and it's like the paintbrushes and your palette knife will do its work. Okay, once you come to that point there, we're going to take the blender brush, and since there's a pond here, we're going to make a pond here, and this is the land back there. We want to find out where we want our land to start. Just press down and pull. That's going to be our water edge. And you'll see in a minute what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the reflections of the trees. Pull it straight down further. Take the edge of your, just pull it down, grab from the point of right above where the tree is on the corner, just pull it straight down, grab some of the color. See how that pulls that down? Whatever you think. After you pull it down so much, go back in and just kind of tap that land part in. You want to kind of make it misty now. Gonna clean the brush off a little bit. Depending on how much reflection you want, then go straight across. And what it does is it takes the lines away. And it gives you that glare that you get in on the ponds and on the water. You can just do just about anything with this. See how the reflection is now? Now, to top that off and get the line that you're looking for, take your palette knife and get a little roll of titanium white right on the edge of it. Right on the edge. Then you can come in here and just tap. Right where you want your water line to be. Like I said, now what we're doing is we're creating an illusion. Just like that. Here and there and there and here. Doesn't have to be all over. Just like that. Then what you can do is you can take some brown color, if you want, and mix it just a little bit and marble it on the edge. This is going to give you maybe a flavor where you can see some land. You know how the land comes through? How you got dirt and stuff along the edges, but it's too far away. You can't see a lot of detail in it. It's just the illusion we're trying to create. Got a little bit of the brown look. Okay, after we got to this point here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more dark green colors. Phthalo green, sap green, some color from the clouds, the purple. And in our world, I think I'm going to have some land coming down right here. So you're just going to tap it. And you could have the hill coming down like that. Maybe a little hump in there. Who knows? You can have it go right across, right in front of the, wherever you want it. It's your world. Add the green colors again. Maybe come down here further. Now what you want to do is just tap all this in. Really doesn't matter how much, whatever, because we're going to fill it in. We're going to fill it in with some highlight colors. You want it to be dark because the lighter colors will pop more off of it. The highlight of the grass, because you're going to see just by tapping this. I don't know if you can see this or not, but that looks like grass. That's the beauty of it. The beauty of painting is, and you can make it as dark as you want, is when you do that, the sharpness of it looks like grass. And you don't have to do anything but tap. You know, you don't have to use a little brush and paint each line. And maybe in our world, we got a ledge coming out here. This is further back. See how the distance is? We keep coming in layers. Loading up the colors, the green colors again. Maybe in our world it's not so much of a hill. It's like a little peninsula, I guess we could call it that. Like I said, you do the same thing here. You can make it as big as you want. It's your world. You can make it as small as you want. Maybe this one comes around the corner here. Maybe it goes out to here. Wherever you think. So yeah, you got the land here, the other peninsula coming out, the water coming in between. Now we're going to go back and we're going to put big evergreen tree right here. Like we did back there. We're going to add some of the dark colors to mountains. A little bit of liquid clear, load it up. The greens, since we're putting this paint on an area that's already been painted on, you're going to need the thinner, the paint thinner to make it stick. Load it up on both sides and determine where you want your evergreen tree to be. Maybe we want ours to come up here. Almighty, big and powerful evergreen tree. See how I'm just tapping down? And it really doesn't much matter what's going on there now, because we're going to fill it in. Add some more darker color. All the way down. All the way down to there. Now we're going to start out using the corner of the brush and just tapping. Like I did on the trees behind in the distance. See how that's coming out? Hope you can see that. Hope I'm not in the way. Just tap, tap, tap. Leave some openings in there. Then the further you come down, the harder you tap, and the more you can fill it in. I'm going to add some darker color because in nature, it always gets darker at the bottom. Maybe this has got some. You can make them as big as you want. Have big branches coming out. Have some gaps in there. Really make it look real. Now with the same color, this is kind of an easy painting because we're not using a whole lot of different colors. Load up the fan brush again, and on the corner like we did, the branches, we're going to start out and there's going to be a big tree coming over and just kind of close everything in. You're going to take the corner of the brush and wherever you think you want it to start. I think I'm going to start mine right here. You just tap it. Here and there. See how that's happening? It's going to come down. It's going to get in front of the... It's going to get in front of your clouds, but you know it's there. And it's your world. You can leave it open, like I'm doing. I'm leaving some of it open. I'm putting it back here, blending it in, coming down, leaving some openings in there. You can make it thick where you want, thin where you want. It's your world. Darker here, darker there. Have it come right down. I'm adding more color, darker now since we're getting closer to the ground, like we did on the evergreen. Maybe this tree comes right down into there. Who knows? We'll fill the rest of it in with highlight. See how that's all closing in? It's all coming down. And if you're happy with that look, and I am, we're going to take the palette knife. We're going to come in here and scrape in some branches, twigs, some little bit of grassy area before we highlight it. And you'll see it. I hope you can see this. Where you might see some branches and stuff coming out. Here, there, and here. Because you put the liquid white on before. So this is just scraping off the color and leaving the white behind it. And it's kind of nice because you don't have to use a little liner brush like this to try to paint all those in there. A little bit of scrapes and you got your stuff in there. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and put the land in like we did up there. Find out where we want it and just pull down. Just pull down just like that. Get the reflection. Just that hue. Maybe that goes right off to there. Maybe here we want some of that color there from the tree, more of a reflection in the water. Take this 2-inch brush we used on the land, just kind of tap it in, barely tap it. Kind of backwards, you know, make it go deeper where it's at. Then as you come up, it's going to get less and less. Now what you do is you take the blender brush and pull it down. Then go across. And you can make it darker if you want. Get more of a reflection by just doing that. Pull it down. Go across. Now you got the look of the tree. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take some yellow. Have another 2-inch brush in here that I was cleaning. That gets all the excess off. Now we're going to go into some yellows. It's almost like a cadmium yellow, Indian yellow. Tap it on the brush. And you'll see once we put it on here, it's gonna pop. Gotta load it up on both sides, kind of thick, and determine where you want your land to be. We could start right here. Just tap it. Just tap. This is too far. We're going to leave this alone. We're just going to highlight the closer parts. Add a little bit of liquid clear. Because like I said, a thick paint, thin paint sticks to a thick paint every time. Where you want your highlights to be. Here and there and there and here. Wherever you think. I'm going to add some liquid white. That will thin it out also. So if you don't have liquid clear, use a liquid white. Maybe here, the sun may be hitting that right there. Just tap it. If you just tap it and then go from there, kind of work it in, it kind of fuses it, defuses it as it goes back. Just barely tapping. Add a little bit more color here, a little bit more liquid white. I want a lighter color here. I want a lighter color there, right on the edge. See how that popped? Here you can put another one. You don't want it all to be the same. Same color, same green. Because in nature, if you look in nature, you see the depth. Like we did with the clouds, same thing with land. You want the different shades where the light hits it and might reflect more brighter colors than other areas. Just tap it in. Barely tap it. You'll see as you're painting, as you go underneath the tree, you're going to leave it darker because it's more shady underneath there. Maybe some critters are underneath there, or who knows. Okay, I'm going to load up some more color. More of the liquid white. The yellows, maybe in our world it's right there. Nice pop there. Now the sun's coming from this angle, so that might be lighter on that corner. Maybe right here, but not too much further. And then you can just add these little hills in. Watch the lay of the land. It's very important. Because however you put this, that's the way your land's going to be. See, if I go straighter here, the land's going to be straighter. If I go more of an angle, down, it drops. So it's wherever you want it. However you want it to be. It's your world. Just like that. This one here, maybe it'll come back. Maybe this one's got a little peak in here, and as it goes underneath the tree, you can still shade it. You want to leave some dark in there, just like I did there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's real dark back in there, just like what you'd see in nature. Then it gets lighter, and you got all the hills happening and the highlights. And if it's too bright, just keep tapping it and you can take it away. Just like that. And you can keep working on it at home or wherever you're at. You can work on this as much as you want. Put whatever you want in. Add things, take things away. See how this is darker here and that's lighter? And as you're working on it, you might look at it and go, well, I want it a little lighter. So you add a little bit more white, a little bit more yellow. Just tap it. Tap it on your brush. Maybe here, right there. Pop it. Pop. Pop. Maybe on mine, right in here I want it to hit more right on this edge here. Because maybe the part of the land is up higher there. And just by doing that, it makes it look like there's a hump there where the sun is hitting. Just like that. If you want, we'll go ahead and put some back here too. There's different layers of the land back here. Fill it in. Kind of highlight it where you might see it. Where you might see some of the highlights, the grassy area. But you're not going to see a whole lot. It's not going to be detailed like you see up front here because it's further back. But you still might see some of the sun hitting. Maybe here it's darker. Maybe there it's darker. Okay, once we got to that point here, what I'm going to do is pull some of this color down. Get that look of the yellow, where you get some of the reflection of the, and go straight across. Take your palette knife, load it up with some brown, get a little roll of paint on it. We're going to make some land. Little roll of paint. Maybe right here might be some. Here. Wherever you think. There, here, there. Depending on how much you want. What we're going to do is we're going to pull some of that off and bring it down. We're going to take the same palette knife and add some liquid white. Tap that for the water line. Just tapping. See, I'm pulling away. See how I took it? Depending on how much water line you want, pull it away. Take your blender brush, beat off the excess, pull down. Kind of blend it in. Just like that. Go straight across. Got different looks of the land coming through. What we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of white, more white on, to give it more of a separation, more of the water line, where there might be some water still there coming up, just here and there. You can always step back and look at things and say, oh, that don't look, that's not what I'm looking for. You just add a little bit more. What I want to do is get more of a reflection down, the illusion of the water. Take the blender brush again, just pull it down. And automatically you're going to get that water line. See how that looks? You're going to get that look of the, like there's water there. Just go straight across. Just barely. Because you don't want to touch it too much. Just like that. Okay, if that's pretty much the way you like it, we're going to take the fan brush, cleaning it off because I don't want all those colors on there. We're going to load it up with liquid white. We're going to highlight some of the trees here, like we did the land. Here, there, there, and here. Because it's summer, and you know, sometimes you got a different look to the way things look. And just tapping down like you did with the when you first put them on there. Just here and there. Not all over. Just on the edges. Just on the edges where the highlight might be. Where the sun might be hitting it. Here and there. Maybe more so out here. Add more liquid white. Thins it out so you don't have to use a paint thinner. Maybe some right there. Highlight. Just bam it. Here, there, there, here. Load it up with the white. Come over here and highlight maybe some of the here and there. Right where you might think the sun might hit some of the pine tree here. Sun's coming in on this angle. Okay, it pretty much looks like could have a completed painting here. So what I like to do is sign my paintings in the left hand corner. I'm going to use the green colors, and what you want to use is your liner brush, and make your paint like an ink because it goes on better. Like I said, a thin paint sticks to a thick paint. Load it up. I sign mine in this corner here. I use my last name. Some people use their initials. And you can use whatever you like. And it's also good to date it, what year it was. I'm going to put 12. Just like that. Well, I hope you enjoyed it today. I hope you come back and see more. I'm going to do more with some palm trees. A little bit different scenes. I've done some already with the palm trees. And more of an ocean, Florida look. And that's always fun, and to see it and how it's created. And I hope you like it. I hope you come back. Have a nice day.